Well, hello again, folks, and welcome to the Shell Busy Housemart Coffee Break. And today we're really going to bug you. Well, bug you in the sense of the word that we're going to talk about bugs. And I don't mean bugs that you go collecting for your school children. I'm talking about those bugs that are pesky little critters that we sometimes get into our house that we got to get rid of. And I've got with me today Peter Steinford, and he is with Care Pest Wildlife Control. And that is a big job. Peter, nice of you to come out and have a chat with us. You know, I've known you since you had the Beagle dogs involved in bed bugs, and you
That's
still
right.
have them.
Yes, we do.
And but you're also in that wildlife. Tell us about some of these wildlife problems.
Well, first off, Shell, thanks very much for having me on. Look forward to talking to you a little bit
Yes.
about wildlife and pests that we experience around the home or workplace.
All right.
Some of the most common pests that we actually might find would be, well, at this time of year, being high season, we're getting a lot of ant and wasp calls. Certainly we are getting our wildlife calls as well. We're getting rats, we're getting skunks, we're getting raccoons, we're getting squirrel calls. We get the odd bird call as well. In addition to that, we'll also deal with pests year-round, such as cockroaches, silverfish. Bed bugs are a big one. We talked about that earlier with our Beagle dogs that actually find the bed bugs.
Well, you got that right.
So there's a lot of different pests that we end up dealing with, and all pose a challenge, but they're all great once we actually fix the problem.
Well, I can recall when you were first becoming part of our Shell Busy Housemart Home Service referral, and on the Fanny Kiefer show, and you had the two Beagles. And one of the things that I always was amazed with that you're always kind of on the point of the market for pests. You're always there with the most up-to-date technology.
Right.
And I mean, who would ever have thought a four-legged dog would find a bed bug? But tell us about these other charactering things like squirrels, and you know, they get up in the attic. What do?
They sure do. So squirrels are actually a very problematic pest, and in the Lower Mainland here we actually have what we call the eastern gray squirrel, and it is a nuisance pest. It is something that does need to be dealt with, because once they're in the attic it's very hard to get them out. They'll actually nest in there, they'll have litters in there as many as twice a year.
Wow.
We get our first litter in the springtime, and then we get our second in the late summer, and it's something that definitely needs to be taken care of. And what we do humane control. So we make sure that when we do go in there, we identify whether or not there is an actual nest in there. If there is, we've got two options. We can remove the nest humanely, take it outside for Mama Squirrel to actually relocate that nest elsewhere, screen up the house to make sure they don't get back in. What you don't want to do, though, is you don't want to block that off and trap the squirrels inside, because that becomes very problematic and they'll make a huge mess of your home.
Well, you know, one of the things, and squirrels, I've known that, and know raccoons, for example, they'll go through a cedar roof.
They sure
the other
will.
thing, wasps. Have you ever had that wasp come through drywall? I didn't realize it, but they'll eat right through the drywall.
And this is the time of year where the wasp nests are going to be at their maximum. It's near the end of the summer. We've had such a long, dry summer with great weather, and that just makes it very conducive for a lot of wasp activity. And at this time of year, you bet your pants they can actually get right through that drywall.
Yeah.
They chew through it. And if that ends up being on the other side of a children's bedroom, or someone that might be highly sensitive to wasps, or just in general, it's something you don't want in your house, because we all know what they can do.
There may be pack rats as well. Maybe they're packing that drywall back into a manufacturing mud for all the joints and everything.
They may well be.
But you know, really, how many different critter bugs and items like lice and bed bugs are there out there that you people are dealing with? Because we get a call saying, we've got a squirrel in the, we know it's a squirrel, we've seen the squirrel go, we think it's going in this, and that's when I'll say, well, hang on one moment, you think it goes in there. Let's get the pest control, Care Pest Control out there and find out just where they are going in. How many of those different characters or pests have you got?
So there's a lot of different types of pests that we experience in the Lower Mainland. We deal with what are called structural pests. Again, those are pests that are found in and around the home or workplace. So like I said, examples would be ants, certainly squirrels, rats, mice. Those are all types of pests that we actually would end up dealing with. And in the case of the squirrel, yeah, you're right. We want to find what we call that point of entry, that hole that the squirrel's going in and out of. And again, really want to stress, you don't want to be blocking that off and trapping the squirrels inside. We want to make sure they get out first and then humanely screen that up. And then that way the squirrels live on peacefully, but not in your home.
Here's one for you. We had a lady recently And we had the call come into the office. It ended up in my office. And when it gets to that point, that's when I call Care Pest Control right away. They'll, being staff, will refer to Care Pest Control. But this lady was going a little bit further. And not that it was a lady, it could have been a man, but this was the lady that was calling. And she could not figure out why one company and the other company, there was 50% difference in the price. And to me, I simply said, well, all I can do is refer you to a third company, which is the company that is part of our referral, that I have no idea where Peter will be price-wise, but answering your question, 50% more with the two that you've got, something's got to be left out, because I'm sure they're not paying people that much less, or they're not buying their fuel that much less, or insurance much less. So where does that come in?
I think what you want to make sure is when you do call a company, whether it be ourselves or some other companies, you want to check out a couple things. Ideally, if they're a member of the Shell Buzzy House Smart Referral Network, that would be great. If they're members of the Better Business Bureau, that's
Right.
another plus. And members of the Structural Pest Management Association.
Ah, there's a good one.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we want to make sure we satisfy those three things. We also, as a company, we actually come out to your house or to your workplace and actually assess the problem. And there's no charge for us to come out and do an inspection to make sure that we're actually pricing it accurately, because we want to check things like, where is that actual hole? Do we need ladders to get up there? Do we
Right.
need two people to carry a 40-foot ladder, for example?
Right.
These are all things that will affect your pricing. So we want to make sure, without actually seeing it, we can't really give a firm price. So we come out, make sure we check everything out, and make sure that our price is accurate, and we are very competitive.
And you know, folks, that's why I always say, when in doubt, don't pout. Let Shell help you out. And the question will also follow, Peter. Are they more expensive than the other two people that we've had prices from? I don't know that. I'm not involved in that. But I will say, good, better, best. Why worry about the rest when the good is better, the better is best? We don't have people on our referral that cannot take care of the concern that they have and do it, as you say, humanely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and-
The other thing I just want to point out as well, Shell, is you want to make sure that whoever you do hire, that you get a proper warranty with your work, because sometimes there are needs to actually go back and do
licensed.
and licensed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that if there is a problem after the fact, that the company's going to be around to actually tend to any issues that might come up post treatment.
Right. Now, one of the things as well that you are now part of the Terminex Canada, which is a huge company, and being that you are your company, Care Pest Control, Wildlife Control, I should put that in there, and that's what we're talking about today. But Terminex is a huge company that not only do they have many, many thousands of exterminators across the country and across the U.S., but there are also people that are always training you.
Absolutely. They have a very extensive training program. They're a multinational company, and in Canada alone, we're represented from east to west coast. So we've got you looked after.
And that makes a big, big difference, folks. So, really when it comes down to animals, like four-legged animals, what happens if somebody's iguana ever got away? Would you get out on a call like that? Like
And
try to
iguana,
find
I've
them?
never actually had that call before.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure we could figure something out for
Yeah,
the folks
figure
out there.
something out.
Absolutely.
Or a python.
Sure. I mean, there's nothing we can't handle.
There, it's just that easy, folks. So I would like to thank you, Peter, for coming out and giving us a rundown as to just what Care Pest Wildlife Control is all about. We know that you're all about the extermination of all the bugs and all those other things, and plus the Terminex professional approach to doing things right across North America, and soon I'm sure to be involved in the world. But nice to have you. Always
Thanks
great.
so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Peter.
Take
You
care.
betcha. And folks, it has been a great interview, and it was one that we wanted to have because we want you to be aware that when it comes to a problem with anything that is a rodent or a bug or an ant, which is a bug, but you want to get rid of them, give us a call at the Shell Buzzy House Smart Home Service Referral at 604-542-2236. It is just that easy, and we'll get you in touch with the people who do know. Thanks for watching. Enjoy. Next time, we'll be back with more information to help you out. Love you all. Bye-bye for now.